Welcome to KUTV. And just as we swiftly jump to it, I'll start with you, Odhiambo. Your reactions concerning the address that was made by the president today.
I think I can give him 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can give him 50%. He tried to dig deep, but the address was shallow to some extent. It was brief with some issues, the important issues left out.
Really, what issues in particular did you find like they were left out?
I was expecting President to tackle the issue of economy. When we talk about economy, the common mwananchi, the hustler, was asking President to talk about the price of unga. Mm-hmm. We're expecting President to tell us what about the fuel subsidy. We are expecting President to discuss the issue that touches the life of common mwananchi directly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Auki, do you share in Odhiambo's sentiments that the president did not really touch on the economic factors that are affecting the country?
To me, what I can say in the presidential address to the combined sitting today, I really, in fact, you see, when you combine the two houses together, I think maybe I was expectant. I expected a lot. Mm-hmm. But it was to my dismay that there was nothing. Actually, there was nothing that the president talked about. Nothing, absolutely nothing. To me, I don't even know the percentage to give the president. I was disappointed.
Mm-hmm. And
that is what I can say.
I did hear him talk concerning why he removed the subsidies on consumption. Don't you think this was a matter that did touch on the economy, and also the fact that he did touch on the national debt as it is currently? Odhiambo, proceed.
Our people, we don't want long-term solutions. Our people want short-term solutions that will touch their life directly, right from tomorrow. As you know, the cost of living is high. So we are expecting President to tell us what will change our life as from tomorrow. Don't talk about stories. Don't tell us theories. We are Kenyans. We are used to your theories. The same thing you've been telling us in rallies, at the same time, same things he was telling us at the parliament. Mm-hmm. We want different stories. We want the stories that can change the life of common mwananchi. Don't tell us, subsidy that will bring the effect, the impact, the country will feel it in the next 3 years. What about right now? What about the span of 3 years? You are telling us about saving. You want people to save. Mm-hmm. You are telling common mwananchi about saving, and they even lack what to eat. How can you start discussing with someone who lacks food, how to save? That is not practical. Mm-hmm. We need practicality.
Okay, I don't know your sentiments on this, because the saving culture, and Odhiambo is saying we literally don't have anything to save. Yeah. And looking at the 2022-2023 budget, the president did order Treasury to cut it by 300 billion. Yeah. Now, looking at such measures, and these are the measures that was targeted at relieving the country as it is in matters of debt and the hardships of the economy. What do you think about this?
What I can say is that in terms of subsidies, however much actually the main point is our president, His Excellency, never elaborated on how he's going to tackle the problems he was talking about. But when you talk about carrying forward the subsidies for the short term, to me, I think that is a solution to the economy. Now let us come back to economics. When you draw an economic model, there is a point that when the economy is going down, there is a point that is called the recession point. That is where you have to make a U-turn to make the economy grow upwards. So at that point, to me, that is like a long-term solution. So to that, in terms of that, I would give him some score. But then the question is, this 300 billion that he was talking about to be cut, from what point? From where? From what part in the budget is it going to be cut from? Because you don't just can't say that let us cut 300 million. Mm-hmm. You don't know from where you are going to cut it. You don't know how is it going to be cut. So I think to that point is, and then in terms of saving, I think by the rule of law, every Kenyan is equal. And that one I want to say about, I want to share my views on what he talked about. Those who are earning more to save more, and those who are earning less to save less. I think that is a personal decision. If I'm earning more, I think those who are earning more, generally, they are really saving a lot in their personal perspective, in their personal understandings. We have circles, we have the insurance companies. People are saving, so you can't, you don't expect that people are only saving through NSSF. That is not a point, that is not a strategy to lift Kenya from the economic...
And Odhiambo, I'd like to hear your sentiments, because looking at the NSSF, 2.5 million approximately, that's the number of Kenyans who are able to actually be part of this funding scheme. Looking at even the voters who are registered to vote in the previous general elections, it was, the highest point was 22 million voters, registered voters. Those are people who are above 18 years, and 2.5 million are the ones on NSSF. Now, what's your view on this? Because I find a disconnect between employment and the whole saving situation. I don't know, what are your sentiments on this?
Let me begin with something about the cutting of the budget. You are telling us that you want to cut budget with 300 billion, but you are not telling us how you are going to curb corruption. I think we don't need even to cut the budget. We just need, as a nation, to curb corruption. If we curb corruption, we'll get surplus. As simple as that. Because we are going to cut our budget, and some funds will end up in people's pocket. The same thing. And then again, we are talking about saving. We should not tell us how to save. Just give people food, give people money to have money in their pocket. By the end of the day, even Emmanuel, if you have food on the table, you will have the remaining cash to save. Don't tell me to save, and I don't even I don't have enough to eat. Give me food first, and tell me to save the remaining.
Mm-hmm.
People need food. We don't need to be told, oh, we should save, or what. It's only theories. We just need food. Give us food, Mr. President.
My director is saying a hungry sentiment right there, but okay. Okay, I'll come to you and ask you this. Looking at the whole situation and the fact that we are looking at saving what we somehow perceive not to have, are we that bad off as a country? In your view or in your perception, looking at the country as it is right now, are we that spent that we don't have anything to save?
I think, yes, we don't have anything to save. And, in Kenya today, saving nowadays, saving is in personal decision now, because it now depends with one. I think the best thing Mr. President can do in this point, in terms of, first of all, we need a campaign on why it is important to save with the NSSF. By that, we are going to, first of all, get the people or the percentage of the society, of the population that is not saving with the NSSF. So first thing is make a campaign on why there is an importance or why you need to save with the NSSF. Then mobilize people to save. Now, once you have mobilized the people to save, we better do things differently. That is the problem we have in Kenya. We always borrow from the Western countries, from the Europeans. Why can't we even think of introducing another saving venture or so? Instead of NSSF, you can. That is it is the National Social Security Fund. Yeah, you can come with a national economic security fund. Now this is for the economy. Now, when somebody is saving 200 on the other side, then the National Economic Security Fund can take another 300. You see, now we are coming up with something. So somebody is not feeling that you are really exploiting his income to save on the NSSF. In another way, you are using a very wise means to take it again to another sector when it might be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Let me partially move to become the president's advocate for a moment.
Yes.
Odhiambo,
Yeah.
the president came up with something that yesterday when he was with Safaricom, as they were actually revealing their new charges for Fuliza, he pointed out that he wants to bring the country to a point where the government would likely borrow from the Kenyan people rather than borrowing from abroad. And looking at the NSSF right now, could it be that Mr. President is looking at NSSF as a possible kitty that, if it is fattened enough, can be able to facilitate the country and the interests thereof are retained within the country?
There is one thing you should get, and I'll repeat this thing even 10 times for you to get it. You want us to save, right? You are preaching the gospel of saving, saving, saving. The same person who is preaching the gospel of saving, you are preaching to the hungry people the gospel of saving. How do you want us to save? What do you want us to save? We don't have enough to eat with our children. We are struggling. The same country you are telling people of saving, we are facing insecurity. We want you to address the issue of insecurity because our people, our brothers are dying. Yeah. You are facing the issue of gender balance. The other day you promised us that you will give 50% of your government to the women. It's not there. Even the 30% is not here. Not there. You are waking up and starting to tell us, I want you people to save so that the government can borrow from you. The same government that you are telling us that will borrow from us is the same government that is stealing from us. How are they going to borrow from us if they are stealing from us? We need sanity. For you to start, before you start preaching the gospel of saving, bring us the sanity. I'll be okay today if you tell me to save with you, if in the past you've been a clean guy, you've got a clean records. I'll be more than comfortable. But for me to tell me to save with the government of Kenya, we've been seeing these stories. Circle A and B, the money is squandered, is not there. Circle C and D, the money is not there. We want the trust. The government must build the trust for us also to trust them with our resources. Let the government utilize the resources we have. Government is the one we should be borrowing from. But what the government should do, our national government, let them just utilize the resources we have so that we can have enough to eat and to save for them to borrow from us.
Odhiambo, you're putting it very clear that we need first to get it so that we can be able to distribute it.
Yes.
Now, okay, I'll come to you and I'll look at the fact that, okay, we don't have it. There's the option of affordable credit. Yeah. You've seen the president going all about, because in his campaigns, you had a lot of talking about the Fuliza situation in the country and the way most people actually perturbed by this. Now, looking at the fact that he has also aired out the channels of affordable credit. There is a 50 billion kitty, I believe, that is supposed to go towards the Hustler Fund. All these measures, do you think they'll be able to shoot the economy to a position where we'll actually find what we need to be able to save?
I think the biggest problem that Mr. President has is that he's still in politics. I can compare, if you get married, before you get married, there are some promises that you give the lady. I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. Now, when you get the lady, if you are a man enough, there are things that you need to let her know that these are not possible, they are not achievable, they are not important as at the moment, and life must continue. And that is how you get to know a wife material. One who will be able to accept the hard circumstances that now will be coming after now she has entered into the marriage. Now that is the wife. Now the president had a lot of promises, which is not bad during politics. I mean, we are politicians, we give promises, we understand. Now the problem he has is that he wants to keep the tempo, he wants to keep the public with the things he was promising. He keeps giving promises. Let me tell you one thing, dangerous with was it 50% reduction on when you talk about the affordable credit? Mm-hmm. There are things that you really need to think about before you make a decision. My friend, I'm a youth and life is hard, yes. Mm-hmm. But we need to stop a borrowing culture in Kenya. We need to stop a borrowing culture in Kenya. So if you want to tell me as a youth that the only thing you can think of is to make me think of borrowing all the times, I should think of investing instead of living from a debt. I should think of creating a resource instead of looking for a resource.
And Auki, how will you invest if you have nothing? It's like we are moving back to the idea of saving. Isn't like the only way out we have to borrow?
Yes, you have to borrow. But then these things have a very adverse consequences in the long run. Let me tell you, I can take you back to the 2013 elections, my friend. When Sonko came to power, hawkers were very happy in town. Hawkers were everywhere. What didn't Sonko know? He didn't know that this was increasing the traffic jam in town, which in the long run affects the output, the production of the city. And you saw what happened later. The city could not move. You see, there are things that you might do in the short run, thinking that you are helping the society or you are helping the economy, while in the long run, you are really causing a very dangerous, I don't even know how to call it. These people, let me tell you, for the first, and I want to advise youths and Kenyans, for the first 5 years, life might be so simple because they want the second chance. Life might be so easy in the first 5 years because you are going to be given all that you might need in the first 5 years. Then in the next 5 years, which will be the second term, of which we know he will take it because they never win the elections, I'm sorry to say, but it is evident. It is very evident.
Okay, I'll have to pull it from there because we are getting sentimental, and also the economy is becoming something that is quite heated right in here.
And he's just to conclude on that, he is worsening the economy. He is worsening the economy. We need, for me, there are things that that needs to be sorted in the short run, you see, and there are things to be sorted in the long run. For example, when you talk about facilitating the agricultural sector, he's only talking about fertilizer. How many sections are there in agriculture? Talk about livestock farming. What is he saying about that? Talk about fishing. Talk about I think he only want to favor his people because where he come from.
Just 1 minute.
Okay, Odhiambo.
But my friend also, we must live to the reality that president is just 2 months old in the state house. We must give him some credit. Your boss or your opposition leader, he's been there helping his brother in running the government. We expect you to be telling us, because what I know, our president currently is running a rotten economy, a weak government. So we must also give him some time to try and fix the economy. He's still trying to find his way.
If allow me to interrupt.
No, he's still trying to
even
find
during campaigns. Did he talk about anything apart from fertilizer when he talked about agriculture? We are not talking about now. Ever in his mind, he knows that this aiding agriculture is giving fertilizer to aid farmers. Fertilizer is only for farm produce.
Okay.
This is like a 2 months old baby, and you are expecting him or her to walk.
Gentlemen, allow me to interject and also inquire from you.
Yes.
We are looking at a leader who is up there.
Yes.
He's the leader of the country.
Yes.
He is the one who knows the vision that he had ironed out to be able to give us in his manifesto, as we had before he came to seize power. We are moving at a point where we are slowly shedding away from the politics of the day. And the economy is something that is very key. The efforts that is putting across, let's not be quick to analyze it because it's not even 2 months, Odhiambo.
Yeah.
The guy is around 2 weeks in power.
Yeah.
So right now, something that I'm going to ask you guys to, because we're actually even running out of time because we shifted into the economy, and it's something that is quite key to the Kenyan, and it's very, very, very visible, even among you as the youth, bringing out everything that you're feeling concerning this. I'm going to move to the political arena, an arena where the youth in the previous election have been seen to move up and about, not only in the campaigns, but also seeking various seats. Looking at the cabinet that the president has been able to select, it is going to go through the National Assembly. That is where he was today. What do you think about being able to fashion his agenda through the two houses? Will he face challenges? Will it be a smooth run? How will he be able to course all his things through the parliament?
I can say around 60% of his appointees they have the various different cases, different charges in courts. For me, they are bad choice. Sometimes we must accept and face the reality of the day, but the government will pass them the names because they have the majority. They have the mandate. And the Kenya Kwanza wing, they are the majority in parliament. So just the order from the boss, it's really a walk in the park for them. By the end of the day, they will be the CS, the new CS, but there is no face of the youth. I didn't see the face of a hustler in the cabinet. I didn't see the face of Mama Mboga in the cabinet. So the president was using the hustler narrative to clinch into power. Now, there is no story about hustlers. What we want, my concern is not even about cabinet, who is in the cabinet, who is running what, who is in. What we want, we just want affordable housing as people of Kenya. We want universal health care to all. We want president to address the issue of security for everyone. We want people to have the food on the table. By the end of the day, nobody will be concerned who is the president, who is in the cabinet, who is who of this nation. Each and everybody, everyone have his way. We just want people to survive and people to.
Okay, Auki, I'll have to give you a moment to air your final sentiments as we are pressed for time. Less than a minute.
What I can say is that the cabinet that he has chosen, what did you expect? If you see a child walking from a corridor carrying one slice of bread, then the other comes with a bread less one slice, you automatically knows where the other one slice came from. So if you see Ruto in the office, there are people to expect, because himself, he had charges, of which I'm very sure right now those charges are nowhere, and they are going to go nowhere. So if you see somebody with the charges in the office, expect those with the charges to be there, because you need those who will, you need somebody you can manipulate. For you to do this, you have a case in court. Now, you do what I want or you proceed with your cases. So that is the situation that they are in. Otherwise, what I can say is that I wish to ask the likes of Babu Owino, the likes of Junet Mohammed, it's not over. It's very true that even noble leaders will turn to be tyrants if their reign is not checked. So we need balance and checks in this government, because it's not a government. This is, I don't know what to call this.
But it's a government.
We need a balance. This is not a government, my friend.
You're challenged for words, but it is a government, Auki, and how to push it right there. Jim Auki, ladies and gentlemen, and John Odhiambo, who are actually with us disseminating the whole address by the president, his first address, opening the 13th Parliament of the Republic of Kenya. We take a short break right now, and we'll be back in a moment.